need.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and my esteemed colleague from Georgia, Dr. Ferguson. I rise today to recognize the New Yorkers who have been hit especially hard by the policies of the previous administration and Obamacare's so-called reforms to our healthcare system. Patients have been hurt, doctors have been burdened, and families and taxpayers are being crushed by this terrible law and its thousands of pages of onerous regulations. Our most vulnerable citizens, seniors, the hardworking middle class, and veterans are in worse shape now in upstate New York than they were before. In New York State and across the 22nd District, patients are being denied high-quality care that they deserve and need. With higher costs, less accessible and affordable care, and mountains of red tape, this law has proven to be everything but a patient protection and affordable care act. Now, some deductibles are higher than a house payment, and premiums across the nation have increased on average by 25%. Our families didn't sign up for this. Patients have had their plans canceled, and their doctors are deemed out of network. They have fewer and worse choices than before. All the while, costs have skyrocketed, with premiums and deductibles jumping by double digits and triple digits in some cases. This failed law has hurt our economy, small business owners, and family farms, while driving hundreds of thousands of jobs out of our communities. Small businesses are being crushed by Obamacare and have been either stopped hiring or dropped insurance coverage for their employees. The CBO estimated that Obamacare will result in the loss of at least 2 million jobs. In fact, the #1 complaint of small business owners in my district throughout the last 6 years has been Obamacare. And 70% of the new jobs are created by the small businesses in our community. One small business owner, in fact, told me that she had to lay off nearly a dozen employees just to keep up with the cost of Obamacare. Just think of looking at 12 families and saying you have now lost the primary caregiver in your family just to keep up with Obamacare mandates. Another family that I met with told me they had their insurance lost after being canceled 3 times, and now their options are either limited or unaffordable. Another independent self-insured man told me that he had, with 3 children, that he had his insurance plan, but he had no health care, with a $12,000 annual deductible. Hardworking, this is unfair and it's unsustainable for small business owners, particularly those in the independent market. Hardworking middle-class families in New York are being burdened with nearly the highest taxes in the nation. New York is one of only 4 states that passes the state 50% share Medicaid burden onto the local taxpayers. 25% of the state's obligation to cover Medicaid costs are forced onto struggling local governments already suffocating under unfunded mandates from the state. This has caused property and sales taxes to increase year after year, crushing the pocketbooks of even the most vulnerable taxpayers. In New York State, local taxpayers throughout our 63 counties will be forced to pay over $7.5 billion annually in this local share to support New York's Medicaid program. New York's Medicaid program is the largest in the nation. In fiscal year 2018, the cost will be over $65 billion, over 42% of New York's $152 billion proposed state budget. That's nearly the cost of the entire state of Florida's state budget. Already, taxpayers in upstate and central New York are burdened with some of the highest combined property and sales tax rates in the country. Every penny that goes for this failing scheme is a penny less for our schools, our roads, care for our seniors, care for people with special needs, and actually the truly needy in our communities. There is a better way, and that won't leave everyone, and we won't leave anyone behind. It's vitally important that we begin to repeal Obamacare so we can provide relief for people across the country and the state. I am currently reviewing the American Health Care Act, a reform initiative proposed to alleviate the pressures Obamacare has put on patients, providers, and taxpayers. The proposals in the American Health Care Act will lower premiums by 10%, reduce taxes by $883 billion, and reduce the by $337 billion. All are a significant step in the right direction. However, I will continue to listen to constituents in the 22nd District as the House carefully considers this legislation before we vote on it, and any future bills to improve and restore our health care system for all. Current and future taxpayers must not be saddled with further debt and taxes to pay for lower quality and less access to care. And any new initiative must enshrine the freedom to choose a plan tailored to each person and each family. Any new initiative must include a competitive marketplace which provides better and broader options for families across all economic sectors. Any new initiative must protect seniors and the truly needy in our society, because we do have an obligation and a desire to help them. But the status quo is unacceptable. Obamacare is inefficient, it's ineffective, and it tramples our precious liberties. We, as the duly elected representatives, should do all in our power to create a patient-centered, cost-conscious, high-quality system of health care in this country. I will continue to fight for everyone in our communities, and I thank you, Mr. Speaker, and my esteemed colleague from Georgia, Dr. Ferguson. I yield back.